now you know what a YouTube ad feels like, no? Because everybody's just waiting to skip ad and then go to the main section, which is outside. But anyway, we'll try to keep it as engaging as possible and reward your attention. I think that the topic itself is a very broad topic. So what we thought was we'd try and divide it into a few key sections and then just have a discussion. See, we have people from, everybody from FMCG to, you know, a real estate developer. So my first question to all of you would be, how do you allocate budgets? There was a point in time where, you know, when the dinosaurs were walking the earth, and I got into advertising, where, you know, you just had 2 or 3 segments where you broadly put your money in. So you'd say, put some X in television, Y in print, and then Z in outdoor. If there was anything left behind, okay, Pona Porde, we'll just give it to radio, right? But that was pretty much all that was maybe in the early 2000s, even as late as the early 2000s. Today, I mean, like, you know, the proliferation of media is so huge that while your media monies haven't expanded in proportion, now the options available are huge. So how do you allocate, for what objective, how do you go about, you know, segmenting your media monies?
So hi everyone. So we are a major edible oil manufacturer based out of Tamil Nadu. So our ad spends, and we are a very traditional organization. So initially our spends catered to ATL, which was TV, radio, print, as she mentioned. As time goes, because the consumers are more towards their mobiles today, and the consumption pattern today has varied into different streams like audio, video, games, etc. that is there. So the contribution of our particular spends that was there. So previously there was 80% of ATL and 20% of BTL that was there. Further today, if you ask me, my budgets are 40% ATL and 40% digital and 20% of BTL that is there. So the contribution towards digital has drastically increased, and digital meaning right from your third-party websites to generate traffic, third-party YouTubers to generate traffic. Then we have our influencers that is there, that social media then is there. So digital today has become a world by itself. So from being a traditional organization to capture eyeballs, our spends have now catered differently, which is there. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, a great question, but there is no right or wrong answer to this, right? So I'll take the example of one of our companies, which is Veranda Higher Ed, right? So you're a working professional, you want to do an executive program with one of the IIMs. This is one of the products I offer, and another product is probably there's a college in Turkmenistan, which is completely going empty, offering MBBS seats, excellent college, but you know, we help them find students. So both these you know, products or services are offered under the same brand, that's Veranda Higher Ed. But when I do the first, I'm looking at working professionals like all of us here, and all of us are present, you know, in the digital medium. So we probably only are on LinkedIn, and you know, we try and only attack digital to get to our segment, and there is absolutely no marketing budget that goes elsewhere. But when I see the latter, there is a statistic in India that says NEET takers, you know, people who get into medical colleges, more than 80% of them are repeaters. Hardly 15-20% get in their first time. So I'm better off standing outside a coaching center and probably just distributing and shouting at the top of my voice and just doing BTL if I want to send someone to, you know, say a Turkmenistan, because I'm going to you know, find them at a particular place. So do I really want to do digital? Do I want to spray and pray? Or do I just want to shout? So it completely, there is no right or wrong answer. Within a particular segment, there is such wide variety in terms of how you want to optimize your marketing budget. That's my take on optimizing.
Hi, I'm Satish Kumar from DAC Developers. ரொம்ப நல்ல கேள்வி கேட்டிருக்காங்க மேடம். இதில் ஒரு 2-3 இயர்ஸ் பேக் எனக்கு வந்து இதில் நிறைய கன்ஃபியூஷன் இருந்தது. நான் என்ன மாதிரி ஃபஸ்ட் ஜென்ரேஷன் ஆண்டர்ப்ரனருக்கு வந்து எது பண்ணணும் எது பண்ணாதுன்னு எந்த லெகசியும் கிடையாது. பட் இப்போ வந்து பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா இந்த ஸ்டேஜில் உட்கார அளவுக்கு கொஞ்சம் நாலேஜ் வச்சுருக்கேன். அது சார் மாதிரி சீனியர் கூட பரவாயில்ல. ரைட், எனக்கு ஒப்பீனியன் இதில் கொஞ்சம் டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் இருக்குது. முன்னாடி நான் என்ன நினச்சேன்னா லெஸ் தென் 40ங்கிறதுனால டிஜிட்டல் தான் பெட்டர் அப்படின்னு நினச்சேன். டிஜிட்டல் பின்னாடி மட்டும்தான் இருந்தேன். பட் இப்போ லாஸ்ட் 2-3 இயர்ஸாக எனக்கு ஒப்பீனியன் அப்படியே மாறி இருக்கு. எங்களோட பட்ஜெட் ஒரு மாதத்துக்கு 2-3 crores ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணுறோம் மார்க்கெட்டிங்க்கு. ஒரு 60-70% மாஸ் மீடியா, டிவி, பேப்பர், ஹோர்டிங்ஸ் அந்த மாதிரி ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணுறோம். 40% டிஜிட்டல். ரெண்டுமே காம்பினேஷனாக இருக்கும்போது மட்டும்தான் ஒர்க் அவுட் ஆகுது எங்கள் இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கு. இப்போ நான் சொல்கிறது நீங்கள் எப்படி புரிஞ்சிக்கலாம்னா, ரியல் எஸ்டேட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கு என்னோட பெர்ஸ்பெக்டிவில் நான் அப்படி பார்க்குறோம். எங்களுக்கு வெரி மச் நல்ல ரிசல்ட் இருக்குது. டிவி, பேப்பர்லாம் உங்களுக்கு எல்லாரும் தெரியும், இங்கே எல்லாம் பெரிய ஆளுங்களாக இருக்கீங்க, ரொம்ப காஸ்ட்லியாக இருக்கீங்க. பட் பரவாயில்ல, டிவி பேப்பர் விட்டுட்டு டிஜிட்டல் பின்னாடி இருந்தாலும் ஒர்க் அவுட் ஆகலை, டிஜிட்டல் இல்லாமல் இவங்க பின்னாடி இருந்தாலும் ஒர்க் அவுட் ஆகலை. இதுதான் என்னோட வியூ ஆக்சுவலி.
Love you guys. Vanakkam Chennai. Super. Thank you so much for the response. My name is Vijay Kapoor. I'm the founder and CEO of Derby Responsible Menswear. So the complete spend that you want to do purely comes from the strategy. What is the strategy of the organization? What's the strategy of the brand? Today, marketing and advertising are two different worlds altogether. Advertisement is all about push. Marketing is all about pull. Two different universe. And you cannot just do performance marketing. Performance marketing is because everybody is under pressure to do, ROI, return on investment. So you need to actually see how do you build your brand. One is brand marketing. Brand marketing, there's no way you can calculate the ROI. So what is going to be the brand marketing spend you're going to do? Secondly, how are you going to get the footfalls? For us retail, we run chain of retail outlets. So typically we look at the budgets that we do. It's basically from the strategy, okay, what is the type of turnover we're looking at for the entire year? Out of that, how are we going to ensure we're going to do justice in building the brand? So because people buy an emotion, people just don't buy a product. The minute you're only commoditizing your brand, sort by price, and you're the cheapest person out there, you don't have a brand say. Earlier it used to be purely that I want to build, I want to deliver a great product. Then it went, I want to deliver a great service. Now it has gone beyond that into experience zone. Only when you get all these three, in fact, experience is where you have the premiumness, and for that you need to build a brand so the people are curious enough to come and experience you. Over the years, I've shrunk. I used to be into completely traditional marketing. We used to do hoardings, outdoor, television, theater ads. Over the years, I've realized all that is okay, but what is really necessary is how do you go even digital? Because we need to be where the attention of customers are. And the attention of customers, especially post-COVID, is completely gone into your device, your mobile phones. That is where the entire attention is. If the attention of your customers is there, and hoarding is something that you only view when you're going to the office or coming back, or if you're on a marketing job, you're all the time on your mobile scrolling it, and that is where you are. So how do you actually get the attention? So a lot of emphasis has gone into digital marketing first. Second, we still do a lot of BTL activity, below the line activity, because we also run retail stores. If you're running retail stores, you have to ensure you engage with your customers in and around your store 10 kilometers. How do you ensure you do enough of BTL to make your presence felt and bring it? But this is a slow process of shift from BTL to not only ATL, but also brand building, and also seeing more and more how can you move from paid or performance marketing to organic. How can we pull customers organically? How can we make our customers fall in love with our products and services? And how do we actually show them value? And that comes from a position of generosity. How do we be generous enough to educate our customers? How do we make them feel good about it? And how do we make them really fall in love? Because if they don't fall in love with you, they're not going to be brand loyal. So that is the whole crust. How do you make customers fall in love with you? And that's what, for me, advertisement and marketing is all about. And my spend will go only if I'm able to achieve that.
So I'll give you a perspective on manufacturing, so coming from a steel industry. A typical answer is like how you say we have a budget. So I want to sell 2 lakh ton of steel. So let's say I'm working at 1,500 rupees a ton. So I have 30 crores with me. So I have to divide that 30 crores. So this is like backward integration. From I have a fund allocated, obviously I have to spend. And Combination of everything what they said. Obviously, digital have gone up. Digital have increased, so from less than 10% to about close to 30%. Still about 30% is there in TVC. We run a lot of retail shows. So obviously, like you said, a lot of BTL activities. So only slightly different what we have done this time is we've understood that the the population, the target audience or the end customers still don't know the right way of selecting a product. So we've come up with a campaign which is like know the truth, right? So typically earlier when you are going to buy a jewelry, right? You go to a shop and you ask them, is it a 22 carat or a 24 carat? And the jeweler says it is 24 carat or whatever, and you then believe it and then you buy it. But now you don't, right? So you ask them to show it to you. You know, you have to check it with a carat meter. It has to show 22 and then you buy it. So same is what we are trying to do. So typically in steel, there is an IS standard and there is a, some parameters associated with the IS standard. So people really, the end users really don't know what it is. So we'll have to teach them. See, there has to be so much carbon content, so much sulfur content, so much phosphorus content. So how do you do that? You have to test. Now, typically testing steel is very costly and very time consuming. So we have imported a machinery from Germany where you can just cut the steel, keep it on the table and it will show you the results. It will show you how much is the chemical content, how much is the iron content, how much is the sulfur content. So you exactly know what you're buying before you buy. So this is a free of cost. We've spent about 15 crores on this year. And we are telling to the customer, see, this is how you have to test the product. This is how the result is. This is what the standard is. And then you decide whether you want to buy this or not. And you want to compare my competitor's product, you're welcome. I have the machinery, you cut it, and you see. And then you take a choice. You select what you want to. So this is like a powerful way of demonstrating your product. So when I am able to demonstrate that this is the quality that I'm giving to the end user, somebody who's buying the house, so he's also my customer, but I'm actually going one step further to actually the guy who's buying, who's paying the money to buy the house, and to telling them, boss, this is what the right quality is, select it, and then buy it. You can buy any product, but these are the parameters that you need to look out for. So we've done this as an additional campaign, but on a broader perspective, about 30% mass media TVC, and about digital, which was only about 10-15% earlier, now it has come to about 30%, and close to, again, about 30% on the BTL activities. So that's how we do it.
I also want to add a point that, let's say we do ATL spends right now. So with the help of digital, you're able to measure things. Now, let's say, for example, I take a Rajinikanth movie, let's say on Sun TV today. The agency will, let's say, post the activity, the agency will say, sir, Brahmandama pochu, supera pochu, amazing TRP which is there. So we have close to 1,700 traders and we cater to around 60,000 retailers today. Now, the next minute I want to sell to him and I ask him, did you see the ad in Rajinikanth's film? He's saying, I don't know. So we made sure the habit to take a snippet of each and everything. Today I do a hoarding in Central. I take an image of it and say, there's a Sunland ad in that and WhatsApp it to all the retailers saying that it's there. So
we also buy tickets for them now.
Yes.
Actually, we make sure they go
Correct.
and watch the movie also.
Correct. So today we are in an era where it's called phygital, where it's physical plus digital. So it's always a balance of 50-50 that's there. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
So it's an ad for an ad, and then we will have to have an ad for an ad for an ad. So it can go on endlessly.
No, it's like forcing them, I mean, indirectly. So the engagement, so we sponsored TNPL cricket, but what we made sure is we sent about 1,200 free tickets to all our digital, all our dealers to go and watch the match. So we are spending on the TNPL on the boards and all of that, but we make sure that we engage with the customer as well. So both has to be done to make sure we get the order.
No, it's interesting how an ad or a sponsorship becomes an engagement opportunity for a channel partner or whatever. So it's about milking that product for every buck that there is. But there was another point that you had raised, which is very interesting about how, educating the customer and telling them how to choose the right grade of steel, hoping that translates into eventual brand benefit for you?
Again, what he said about awareness. So this is like a awareness for the customer, awareness campaign. So direct results will not come. It is not going to directly. So once you make sure he is aware, it's not necessary that he is going to buy your product. So he would be aware and he will still buy something else. So there's this risk, but the advantage that we have is this lot of products which is not good quality is also being sold. So at least that will not happen. So over a period of, so we are so confident that if you give the right quality product and place it at the right price, only educating the customer will support you to get that business. So we've done that and we are finding a lot of success, and how we measure it is now some of our competitors have started doing it. So we think that we are on the right track. So because they are also started doing the same thing that we are doing.
Nice. Imitation is the best form of flattery. So Vijay, your views on content marketing?
I believe content marketing is extremely it's extremely powerful, and a lot of us do not understand the difference between advertising, marketing, and sales. Sales is when a customer is making a purchase. Marketing is there is a huge market out there, and customers who potentially need your product and service are not aware of that. Making that awareness is what is called as marketing. So how do you make that awareness? One is being very clear about who your target audience is. Unfortunately, most of us come from the mindset is, I want to reach more number of people. Reaching more number of people who are not actually going to patronize you, buy your product or brand, doesn't make sense at all. Can we get focused about whom we want to target? For example, we are a fashion brand. I'm just taking an example because of a fashion brand. We decided that we want to come from a responsible position because of a responsible menswear brand. The word responsibility itself means responding with ability. We have asked ourselves, what is the ability we have to respond to this global warming situation, to this climate change? Can we be more conscious about the type of resources we use from the environment, and how do we go about doing that? So that is the brand stand itself. Now, how do we communicate this back to the customers? Second, why do consumers buy a product, especially a fashion product? It's not because they have run out of clothing tomorrow, they're going to go naked. It's because we're inducing a need for them. Third, how do you dress up for any occasion? So we come from a pure space of generosity and educating a customer what should be the style based upon your skin tone, about your dressing, about your body tone, what do you dress for which occasion, what is trending, what is fashion, and we keep it very, very neutral. So you'll be surprised in our social media feed, when we took over the feed from the agency and started doing it directly, and as CEO of the company, I directly handle the entire digital team under me, which is a team of very young, energetic kids out there. And we were about, organically, we were about 12,000 following in Instagram, which we grew to 217K as of yesterday following, which has happened purely organic, and many of our posts gets into millions of likes. That's the type. Then the amount of shares, the conversation that you create, because people find content value. When you're able to give content value, the people are able to share, they're able to speak about it, and they're able to engage with you. Because the whole idea of marketing is building trust. The entire idea is building trust. And how do you build trust? The only way to build trust is find out where people's attention is. Within the attention period, give them what they know they can. And over a period of time, it keeps rubbing. Okay, this brand knows what's doing. They are the best in the industry. They do this for a certain reason. Your values are reinforced repeatedly. In fact, we do 3 reels, 3 posts, 3 days, every day on Instagram, which is crazy. Nobody does that. But that type of engagement that we have ensures, what is a brand? Brand is nothing but the amount of mind share you have in a customer's mind. And today, with the amount of information load that we have, and people keep on scrolling, the more the mind share, the better. That is how the whole brand works. The larger the brand image, larger the premium you're able to charge. So we need to create this brand image and also be a top of the mind recall. When they make a purchase decision, they probably will give you an opportunity to shop. So that is where the whole content marketing came, where we are actually able to create great content that people are able to relate with. They enjoy watching it. They want to speak about it. They want to share it. And it's all done organic, no spend. So it's not about performance marketing. It's not about how much money you're spending, but it's all about the reach you're able to have without spending money. At the same time, create the impact and eventually create a trust on the brand.
எல்லாத்தையும் சார் கவர் பண்ணிட்டாரு. கண்டென்ட் வந்து ரொம்ப ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். மார்க்கெட்டிங்க்கு நம்ம என்னோட வியூ அவங்க வியூ ஒன்றா தான் இருக்குது. நம்ம என்ன கன்வே பண்ணணும்னு நினைக்கிறோமோ அதை கண்டென்ட்டில் நம்ம எடுத்துகிட்டு வந்தால் தான் இப்போ ஏற்கனவே அட்வர்டைஸ்மெண்ட் யாரும் பார்க்குறதே இல்லை, படிக்கிறதும் இல்லை. எப்படியாவது பார்க்க வைக்க முயற்சி பண்ணுறோம், படிக்க வைக்க முயற்சி பண்ணுறோம். கண்டென்ட் எப்படி டிஃப்ரெண்ட்டாக நம்ம வந்து பொசிஷன் பண்ணுறோங்கிறது வெரி வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். இப்போ நாங்கள் எங்கள் டேக் டெவலப்பர்ஸில் இந்த உடச்சி பார்க்கலாமா விஜய் டிவி அவர் புகழ் வச்சு ஒரு பண்ணோம். அதுக்கப்புறம் என்னை போகிற இடத்துலலாம் பார்த்துட்டு இருக்காங்க. ஆக்சுவலாக என் டீம்லாம் கிண்டல் பண்ணிருக்காங்க, சார் நீங்கள் எங்கேயாவது போனீங்கன்னா முகத்தை மூடிட்டு போயிருங்க அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி. ஸோ கண்டென்ட்டும் நம்ம எப்படி ரீச் பண்ணுறோங்கிறது வெரி வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். ஆக்சுவலி நம்ம நல்ல கண்டென்ட் க்ரியேட் பண்ணிடுறோம். நம்மக்கிட்ட நல்ல இப்போ நம்ம பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணுற எல்லார்ட்டுமே வந்து எனி இண்டஸ்ட்ரி பெஸ்ட்டு ப்ராடக்ட் தான் கஸ்டமருக்கு கொடுக்க ட்ரை பண்ணுறோம். அதில் எந்த மாற்று கருத்தும் இருக்கிறதுக்கு வாய்ப்பு இல்லை. எப்படி ரீச் பண்ணுறோங்கிறது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப எல்லா இடத்துலையும் மாஸ் மீடியாலையும் சரி டிஜிட்டல்லையும் சரி, டிஜிட்டல் அதுவும் இன்ஃப்ளூயன்சர்ஸ் வந்து எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப நல்ல ரீச்சாக இருந்தது. நிறைய ஆண்டர்ப்ரனர்ஸ் க்ரியேட் ஆகியிருக்காங்க. அதில் ஒரு மொபைல் ஐஃபோன் இருந்தால் போதும், ஒரு சூப்பர் இன்ஃப்ளூயன்சராக ஆயிடுறாங்க அவங்க. எவ்வளோ கிரியேட்டர்ஸ் வந்து நம்ம ஊரில் வந்து ஒரு 10 டேரக்டர்ஸ் சொல்லுவோம். இன்றைக்கி எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு தமிழ்நாட்டில் அட்லீஸ்ட் ஒரு 10 லட்சம் டேரக்டர்ஸ் இருப்பாங்க. டிஜிட்டல் வந்து அந்த டிரான்ஸ்ஃபார்ம் கொடுத்துருக்கு. ஒரு நல்ல கண்டென்ட், நல்ல ப்ராடக்ட் எல்லா இடத்துலையும் தெரிய வச்சோன்னா போதும். ஒரு ஆண்டர்ப்ரனர் நம்ம போய் சேல் பண்ணுங்கிற அவசியம் இல்லை, ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக கஸ்டமர் வந்து வாங்கிடுவாங்க. தட் இஸ் மை வியூ.
You know, Bala, I love this word content marketing because as the CFO, I can ask my head of marketing not to spend a penny, right? So it's the easiest way out. But, you know, I come from the education industry and content marketing is I'm sure everybody here has seen a teacher put up a viral video, teach something very innovatively, and, you know, it just goes viral. So that's what it is, right? For us in the education industry, the best thing about content marketing is I'm giving a free sample of my product and showcasing what I teach, how I teach, and, you know, then attracting the audience. And going back to what Mr. Vijay was saying, so for example, we are present in the UPSC category. We train people to get into IAS, for example. And a lot of students who enrolled with other IAS, you know, academies also watch out, and we put out all this free content on, you know, general knowledge and everyday bites, bits, and reels and stories, everything goes out. But the best thing that I've noticed, and this is supporting what Vijay had put out, is when it comes closer to exams, they want to take up these bite-sized courses or crash courses. They want to revisit the portion. And when the content is good and they know you have good teachers, you have good content, you can cross-sell to even your competitors. So you are always in the, you know, you always have the mind share of the target audience, and that's where the content marketing is really helping us. And just a small trivia, content marketing, like there are a lot of education companies who are putting out YouTube channels. And you would say, oh, you're giving your product out for free, how are you making returns? And, you know, that question is always looming around, what's the returns? But more often than not, YouTube channels in the education sector have led to negative cost of acquisition, which many of us may not have heard, because you're making ad revenue and you're making students, I mean, you're making revenues through your normal stream. You're not spending, you're making money out of marketing, which is probably, you know, the lovely way to do it. So yeah, content marketing is great in my opinion.
So marketing finally stops being a cost center.
Which is the dream scenario for all of us.
For me, content is actually a very integral part of the way that I plan the entire marketing. Because for us, our main product is palm oil, which is there. So we have a product called Rubini palm oil. And by the government's decision to give it via the rations, it is termed as poor man's oil, or in Tamil, Elangal in Ennai. So to give a stat, out of 8 crore population, 50% of the population still uses palm oil. So I still make money out of it. So the concept of driving cooking oil is one major segment of it. Then comes sunflower oil. So I receive a lot of feedback saying that sunflower seed is so small, how can you produce so much of oil out of it? So we have to educate the traders, distributors initially first, give them that, okay, we are importing from Ukraine, we are importing from Argentina, there's a lot of sources, there's so much thing behind it. And surprisingly, petroleum raw material is also called crude, and any seed you crush is also called crude. So there's a lot of circulation saying that, hey, you are mixing something in the oil, blah, 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 and all. So then there's another 30% of the 8 crore population are sunflower oil users. So there's this balanced 20% who uses your gingerly oil, your groundnut, coconut, and you have 1% who uses olive oil, but the amount of content that you see is this 1% that you don't have to use. So doctors recently, we use a lot of doctors, we do a very silent selling that is there. So what we suggest is use the right type of oil for the right type of use. So you can't fry your French fries in gingerly. Because it's a very thick oil in nature, pungent, there's different uses which is there. So content plays a very major role in terms of educating our first customers who actually are primary and traders. A recent campaign that we did that I can touch upon is something called Sanlanla Samacha Shakti Tana Varum. So because end of the day we are adding vitamins to it, we wanted to have a differentiating factor because I don't have large budgets to do storytelling, because a simple example, people can resonate Dairy Milk to the Kiss Me ad is because for them as a user, they are able to relate to the content. But from a marketing perspective, it's crores of spend that's gone to register that particular campaign. So for us, we thought of a very thoughtful campaign saying that why don't we give a consumer offer where it's sale oriented that is there. Because today you have like Sir was saying, today there's branding different, advertising different, sales different. But even though I'm young, I'm from an era where sales and marketing is one team which is there, and we are more dependent on driving sales. So we designed a campaign because Shakti, which is a brand, a traditional brand by itself and has a very strong presence in rest of Tamil Nadu. In the festive time, especially in the October, November, we reached to 30 lakh households. So basically, I doubled my sale during the festive season with a very powerful content piece called Sanlanla Samacha Shakti Tana Varum. So Shakti means energy. Shakti also means the turmeric powder which is there. So we use this and we split the funnel. We kind of used a little bit of ATL, BTL. We used a lot of influencers. And surprisingly, the influencer content that is still running, I've close to got few billion hits because I use Behind Woods, Galata. I use a lot of influencers today, which each video gets close to 2 million hits, 3 million hits. So because, let's say if I take Erode, there's a star in Erode. If I take Tirchi, there's a star in Tirchi. So even though if I use someone and I advertise in a Sun TV or etc. that's there, the power or the impact that the influencer has and which I'm able to measure is very powerful, and it's all through content piece. So I have an audio-based content, video-based content. So the impact that I'm able to measure is very, very strong, and the content that we use in each stage of the funnel is really important for us as well.
Yeah, Arun, just a follow-up question. You had mentioned, using influencers, right? And this is something that, earlier, it used to be celebrities, now it is influencers. What do you see as an FMCG marketer? What do you see as the role? Does it work? Does it not work? Sure, in terms of numbers, particularly on digital, you can see the number of, the views and the engagement and everything else. But beyond that, what does it do for the brand?
Yeah. So for me, I'm a fundamental core digital guy. So when I reach out to an influencer, so what we also do is we tend to, because we have partners, because here you have multiple vendors who will say we'll bring you influencers, which is there. So we decided, as my tagline says, Sanlanla Samacha Shakti Tana Varum, the word Shakti, so the entire brand, what we want to resonate is women's empowerment. So what we are doing is reaching out to influencers, telling them that this is not one stream of revenue that you can earn. You can earn through social media platforms, you can earn through brand integrations. There's also affiliate marketing that is there. So because your Amazons, Flipkarts, name the big guys, the knowledge that is there, because we have partnered with Google. So recently we did an event in Coimbatore called She Creates, partnered with YouTube. So we are creating, YouTube is also wanting a lot of creators that is there. So we had close to around 500 plus initial creators who have crossed the threshold of 1,000 in our network. So I would term them as micro influencers, medium influencers, and macro influencers, telling them that, okay, as a big brand in the city, I'm willing to invest a certain amount of money with you, send you products through barter, plus what I want you to do is build a community of your own, because reach and the views is something that I don't view, I view only on the engagement ratio, the conversion ratio, the shares that is there. So that's the more impact metric that I follow. So it is important, it's as an advertiser, it's not only that, hey, do an influencer activity, it's because I hear this a lot, because there's a lot of advertisers here also and agencies here. Brands like HUL, brands like Britannia, brands like P&G, you have a lot of brand managers that are there who just oversee and just show a metric and a very beautiful presentation saying that we've reached so many things. For us, as we are the brand itself, we, like Sir by himself is advertising, for us, you have to put your heart and soul to it. So, and it's very beautiful where we have created a community by itself. We are creating small women entrepreneurs that is there. So it is really beautiful that the way. So only when you consider influencing marketing that way and utilize to its maximum potential, and that's when it's a very beautiful medium that's there. And today we have, so like Sir lightly said, there are 10 lakh directors and everyone wants to become an influencer today, which is there. Yeah.
I'm curious, Sharda, talk about the influencer for the Turkmenistan College.
Yeah, so I'll probably ask you this question as a parent as well. I mean, I'm going to express some opinions which are contradictory to what's happening in our industry. But I don't think if, you know, Shah Rukh Khan's going to come and tell me that put your child in so-and-so school, I mean, it's outcome-based. Our promoter was talking to one another media forum, and he said, if at all you tell somebody that you climb to Tirupati every single day and you get a seat in IIT, everybody will be climbing, right? So we are a very outcome-based country. We want results, in our case, ranks. So I think celebrity endorsements may not be very apt for service industries that completely depend on outcomes. So the last industry I worked with was healthcare. So I'm not going to get an angioplasty because Shah Rukh Khan says so. I'll go and get it because somebody had it, was successful, came out alive. Then I want to get it from that very hospital, right? So I think it totally depends on the industry and the believability and the outcomes rather than celebrity endorsements alone. So we see that live, right? The teachers who take those courses are the influencers, are the celebrities, and their words are more powerful than paying crores and crores to some celebrity. That's what our industry has showcased time and again. So that's my limited opinion on this.
அவர் என்னோட சின்னவராக இருக்கார், இருந்தாலும் நானும் சின்ன பையன் தான். இன்ஃப்ளூயன்சர்ஸ் ஆப்வியஸ்லி ரொம்ப நல்ல இம்பேக்ட் இருக்குது. ரொம்ப நம்ம எல்லா விதமான இன்ஃப்ளூயன்சஸும் நாங்கள் யூஸ் பண்ணுறோம். அது மட்டும் இல்லை, வெறும் இன்ஃப்ளூயன்சஸ் மட்டும் யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டா பரவாயில்லையான்னு கேட்டால் எனக்கு ஒப்பீனியன் டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் இருக்குது. கொஞ்சம் நல்ல பிராண்ட் அம்பாசிடரை நம்ம வச்சுக்கணும். நல்ல ஒரு தமிழ்நாடு ஃபுல்லாக தெரிஞ்சவங்களோ, சவுத் இந்தியா ஃபுல்லாக தெரிஞ்சவங்க, நம்மளோட பேண்ட் வித் என்ன இருக்கோ அதுக்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரி ஒரு நல்ல பிராண்ட் அம்பாசிடர் இருந்தால் தான் மார்க்கெட்டிங்க்கு கண்டிப்பாக யூஸ் ஆகும். நம்ம என்ன சொல்ல வரோங்கிறத அவள் பிராண்ட் அம்பாசிடர் மூலியமாகவும் இன்ஃப்ளூயன்ஸ் எல்லா விதமான அந்த மார்க்கெட்டிங் ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜி நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கணும். நான் என்ன நினைக்கிறேன் அப்படின்னா, பெரிய கார்ப்பரேட்ஸ் ஃபாலோ பண்ணுற மாதிரி நம்ம எதுவும் மேனுஃபேக்சரிங் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிவிட்டு நம்ம ஏதோ சர்வீஸ் கொடுக்குறோன்னு சொல்லி நம்ம எதுவும் பண்ணாமல் நல்ல மார்க்கெட்டிங் டீம் வச்சுக்கணும், நல்ல சேல்ஸ் டீம் வச்சுக்கணும். மீதி எல்லாத்தையும் அவுட் சோர்ஸ் பண்ணிவிட்டு கேஷ் ஃப்ளோ மேனேஜ் பண்ணிட்டா போதும், பிஸ்னஸ் நல்லா இருக்குங்கிறது வியூ. நல்ல பிராண்ட் அம்பாசிடர் வச்சுக்கணும் கண்டிப்பாக. அதில் கொஞ்சம் டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் இருக்குது ஆக்சுவலாக அவங்களுக்கு இவங்களுக்கும். ரைட்.
I think I caught a few keywords that I want to just elaborate on. One was community building. The word community itself, Oxford Dictionary describes as a group of people coming together for a common purpose, common vision, and something that they believe in. If you want to really build a brand, you need to build a community around it. Most of the time, we are taking a machine gun and shooting all over the place, hoping we hit some target. It never happens. So community building is all about consciously making the effort to see and target whom you want, and how are you going to build them so that you're able to influence them in the right ways, so that they're able to patronize you. That is only possible when you're able to speak their language and be with them. And today, it's all about transparency. It's all about transparency and building trust. For that, influencers definitely work. I think it's a wind-up time. I'll just wind up another minute. So it's very important that we need to have influencers definitely work. We realized that today in fashion industry in Tamil Nadu, unfortunately, we didn't have many local influencers. So we decided to do a campaign called as Clothes Don't Make It a Man. The age-old saying is, clothes make it the man. We went contrary to that, believing that who you are, how you think, how you feel, and what you do will only be magnified if you wear the right clothes. Clothes alone don't make it the man. So we started doing this whole online program wherein we got about 3,000, 4,000 participants to apply, selected out of them about 100 participants, and took them through a rigorous program online to create influencers who could not just be great in dressing, but also, the way they think, the way they feel, getting the emotional quotient right, getting that thinking quotient, entrepreneurship, social responsibility, all aspects. And we created our own, community of influencers. And one of the way we awarded, apart from the cash prize, we also gave them opportunities to be brand ambassadors. So we do a lot of shoots. In fact, we do a lot of social media. So it's a lot of, reels we create, posts we create. So we do a lot of shoots with them, giving them a platform to actually come up and making them today influencers. And it's surprising when you create your own micro influencers. And it's a very painstaking process. But when you're able to do it, the cost involved is nothing, because they are yours. You've groomed them the way you want. They're really, when you speak about responsible menswear brand, I don't know whether the influencer I'm approaching is responsible or not. What are the thought process? So we know we've invested 6 months, 8 months into grooming these people and got them into right thought process. And then using them as influencers actually to create them, as well as the process, create a community in each town. So if you have 27 districts in Tamil Nadu, all the 27 district has one representative of yours, who is your brand ambassador, speaking your language, speaking your thoughts, and creating a community around that. So that's how we build it.
I think we're already short of time, but I'll make it really quick. So, traditional manufacturing sectors, we do have the traditional influencers. So we have, as far as steel is concerned, we have our bar benders, masons, engineers, contractors. So we have a big list of all of them. But the only difference now, what I think we are doing better is we need to constantly keep engaging with them. So like he said about the film shooting, so I mean the promotions. So when we did the advertisement for the Jailer movie or anything, so not only make sure that we send them tickets, we make sure they go to the theater and there is a cutout of Rajinikanth and they stand next to it, take a photo. There is some bites that we capture from them about the movie or whatever is the experience. So something, keep them engaged all the time. So however best you're able to do that, keep them engaged, that's when you actually draw them. And so, see, this is a commodity product that we're selling and the requirement is huge. It's a mass product. So, and it goes to the masses. So you only want a certain share, right? So you make sure that you create this community, what he's talking about. That community has to be nurtured. So we keep on, now we have launched a foreign travel scheme for the influencers. So some of the influencers get to travel to Malaysia, Thailand. So yesterday we had a trip to Malaysia for about 30 influencers. So we keep sure that these influencers are constantly engaged throughout the year. That's when they stand loyal to your brand. And obviously, see, there is an influencer program done by all the competitors. So only if you keep them engaged, they stand loyal to you. So that's how you make sure that they are loyal to you. That's it.
Sounds good. So thank you very much, everybody, for this really insightful session. And thank you, everyone, for patiently listening to us. I think we can head for lunch right now.